Yes, so how can the spirit of Devaraja Vimana Pavanang Pankajam guide people doing reception seva or help desk or IT related seva at Art of Living centers? Yes, this line highlights the humility and sanctity of service. Even Indra bows down. In a practical context, someone doing reception or information desk seva is often the first point of contact. Demeanor sets the energy tone. Gurudev reminds us that every role is divine if done with awareness. Just as Indra bows to Kaal Bhairav's feet, a volunteer bows inwardly to every visitor, recognizing the divine in them, especially in information or IT support, where frustration or confusion may arise. Anchoring oneself in humility and offering the task at the Guru's feet makes the work sacred and stress free. What does Vyala Yagya Sutra Mandishekaram Kripakaram teach us about managing digital systems, help desk data, or email and ticketing support with the right energy? This line symbolizes integrating power and calmness. Snakes signify alertness and intensity. The moon is soothing in IT and support seva, especially with systems like CRM, email, website management, or data flow. Volunteers deal with the unknown technical glitches or anxious visitors. Kal Bhairav's symbolism teaches us to be alert like the serpent, precise and responsive, yet always centered like the moon. This balance avoids burnout. Gurudev's advice to pause between tasks, breathe, and remain in seva bhav helps retain clarity and compassion even while handling hundreds of queries or lines of code. In tech oriented seva or reception roles, how does Naradadi Yogi Vanditam help balance efficient communication of Narada with inner silence of a yogi? Yes, reception seva is communication based. One is constantly speaking, answering, guiding, welcoming like Narada. Yet without the yogi's inner stillness, one becomes scattered. Gurudev says the outer must be dynamic, the inner silent. This line in the Ashtakam is a divine reminder. Communicate like Narada, but think and feel like a yogi. Doing 10 minutes of Nadi Shodhan Pranayama before the reception desk opens, or silently chanting the Om Kal Bhairavaya Namaha between queries keeps one grounded. Volunteers on email support or IT chats can use this to stay calm under digital pressure while responding efficiently. What can the Gambaram or teach us about working in systems like HRMS, CRM, database administration, and handling others' data responsibly and spiritually? Yes, the Gabbara means clothed by space, unbound by ego or form. In HR or IT work, one handles sensitive data of teachers, volunteers, donors. This must be done without ownership or pride. Kalabhairava teaches detachment. Work must be done with precision but not attachment. From the Vedic perspective, data is digital karma. Gurudev's teachings guide us to treat each form as sacred, whether it's a biodata or teacher assessment sheet. Handling it with confidentiality, reverence, and non judgment is essential. Volunteers can chant the Ashtakam before beginning work, invoking the energy of transparent, ego free service. How can volunteers at welcome desks or visitor entry points invoke Kal Bhairav's protective and purifying presence while interacting with large crowds or international guests? Yes, the Kala Bhairava is the Kshetrapala or Palaka or guardian of sacred space at the ashram entrance or any center's front desk. The presence is vital. Gurudev often tells volunteers, smile is your mantra, but it is not a superficial smile. It's one rooted in energy. Before starting the shift, one can light a small ghee lamp, do 3 rounds of Nadi Shodhan Pranayama, and chant the first verse of the Ashtakam. This creates a feel where the energy is inviting and protective. Large events like Navratri, World Culture Festival, or TTC or Mahashivratri require managing thousands. Invoking Kalabhairava protects the space and the hearts of all who enter. How does chanting the Kalabhairava Ashtakam or even listening to Bhanumati Narasimhan's version affect the digital or front desk atmosphere of an ashram or seva center? In temples, Kalabhairava is worshipped at the entrance to remove negativities. Similarly, playing this chant softly at the help desk or behind a reception counter creates an energy firewall. The Sanskrit vibrations clean the pranic field, not just for the volunteer but for every visitor. In Vedic architecture and rituals, mantras are placed in corners and entrances to preserve sanctity. Out-of-wing centers can apply this by softly playing the Ashtakam near IT rooms, front desks, or help areas. It reduces friction, brings focus, and uplifts the subtle vibrations, making even a digital help desk a temple of seva. How do art of living courses like DSN, TTC, or the volunteer training program prepare a seeker to carry Kaal Bhairav's energy in administrative and technical seva? DSN brings the fire of Bhairava into the being. It brings limitations and awakens clarity. TTC adds compassion and discipline. VTP trains volunteers to combine friendliness with formality. These courses build the inner trishul of sharpness, strength, and centeredness. Gurudev often says, a volunteer must be like air, supporting yet invisible. Kala Bhairava is this principle embodied, present everywhere, yet egoless. When we do reception seva, after doing DSN or deep silence courses, we operate not from pressure but from purpose. Even ticket resolution or badge printing becomes a sacred act, one done with awareness and love. How can one practically prepare for digital seva or desk seva with Kalbhairab's energy each day? Yes, do in morning do Sandhya Vandanam or Nadishwadan Pranayama, chant the first verse of the Kal Bhairava Ashtakama three times, and before logging in, close your eyes, say Om Kal Bhairavai Namaha nine times, and offer your intellect to Seva. During breaks, take three deep breaths and recall the lotus feet of Kala Bhairava. Remind yourself you are an instrument. And in the evening, light a lamp in your space or digitally play the Ashtakam. Offer the day's karma to Kala Bhairava. This not only improves focus and mood, but also clears energetic residue from technical interactions or digital fatigue. What final wisdom would you like to offer to a tech savvy, service oriented seeker wanting to integrate Kala Bhairava into daily seva? Yes, let every click, call, or code be infused with devotion. Kala Bhairava is not fierce against you, he is fierce for you, cutting away what holds you back. Gurudev says, make your work worship. When you work with that awareness, be it at reception, in HR, or behind a website, you are walking path of fearless sacred service. Kal Bhairava is not outside, he is the awakened clarity, rhythm, and dharma within. Let Seva be your temple, keyboard, your altar, and each smile your mantra. So, how does a Devaraj Sevaman Pava Mangan Pankajam help a student or learner approach education with reverence and focus? Yes, the phrase refers to the sacredness of Kal Bhairava's lotus feet, worshipped even by Indra. For a student, this symbolizes grounding one's learning journey in humility and surrender. Gurudev teaches knowledge is not just information, it's a blessing that flows when ego drops. When students begin their studies with a moment of gratitude, either by chanting, offering the first few moments of reading as a prayer, or simply closing their eyes in silence, they access deeper focus and retention. Touching the book to the forehead or reciting this verse before exams or studies invokes purity or purpose and calm confidence. What does Vyala Yagya Sutra Mandir Shekaram Kripakaram teach students and professionals about managing high expectations, exams, and life pressures with balance and clarity? Yes, the serpent or Vyala represents mental alertness and readiness, while the moon or the Indu symbolizes calmness and rhythm. Kala Bhairava embodies both. Just as an ideal student must be sharp, yet composed in education deadlines and competition can overwhelm. Gurudev emphasizes the power of regular breathing practices, especially Nadi Shodhana and Sudarshan Kriya, for balancing the nervous system. From a Vedic lens, doing Gayatri Japa before exams invokes mental brilliance and emotional stability. Kala Bhairava, as Kripakaram, reminds students that the divine is a compassionate. Success doesn't mean stress. With grace and grounded effort, one can excel without exhaustion. How does Naradadi Yoga Vrinda Vanditam reflect an ideal approach to holistic learning, one that combines knowledge, creativity, and inner growth? Yes, Narada is the archetype of bhakti, music, and joy. Yogis stand for silence, discipline, and self awareness. Kalabhairava, being worshipped by both, tells us that complete education involves both the outer and the inner. In schools and universities, Art of Living says yes plus, and youth empowerment programs integrate breathing techniques with ethics, meditation, public speaking, and stress management. Gurudev reminds us that when the head and heart move together, brilliance follows. A truly successful student or professional learns to balance speaking and listening, leading and reflecting, just like Narada and the yogis in tandem. How can the symbol of the Gambaram or clothed by the directions be used by students and professionals to overcome fear of failure or a fear of judgment? Yes, the Gambara is the highest expression of non attachment. Kalabhairava, without material covering, stands strong and free. In education and career, fear of failure, judgment, or public opinion can paralyze growth. The Gurudev teaches us to drop fear like a cloak. We are not our results, we are the effort and intention. Vedic practice also guides seekers to meditate on space or Akasha Tattva. To release identity clinging, students can chant Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha when feeling overwhelmed or judged. This invokes a fearless inner being. Success then flows not from comparison but from courage and authenticity. How can regular chanting or even listening to the Kaal Bhairava Ashtakam help students and career aspirants build memory, discipline, and emotional strength? Yes, Sanskrit chanting is more than musical. It is mathematical. Its rhythm stimulates both hemispheres of the brain. Gurudev emphasizes that chanting mantras like the Kala Bhairava Ashtakam builds neuroplasticity, linguistic focus, and emotional resilience. Even listening daily, especially early morning, improves retention and strengthens the nervous system. Any students who regularly chanted or listened to this Ashtakam before competitive exams report enhanced confidence, and peace chanting also improves vocal clarity and presence, important in interviews and leadership. When combined with kriyas and silence, this becomes a super formula for inner excellence. In today's fast paced career world, how does Kala Bhairav's energy support ethical ambition and long term success? Yes, Kalabhairava is not just a lord of time, he is the guardian of dharma within time. Ambition without dharma leads to anxiety and collapse, Gurudev often says. When ethics and enthusiasm meet, success sustains. Kalabhairava ensures that the seeker's time is not wasted nor misused. Vedic rituals like the Kalabhairava Trishati and Ashtami Upvas are used to clear karmic time blocks and activate clarity in action for career growth. The qualities of Kala Bhairava of focus, fearlessness, precision, and compassion must be cultivated. Not just what we do, but how we do it determines fulfillment. How do art of living programs like DSN, Sayam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2, or TTC prepare people for successful, balanced careers in the world? Yes, DSN sharpens inner fire, it removes lethargy, fear, and indecision, while Sayam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 cultivates intuitive awareness, vital for leaders and creatives. TTC trains both mind and voice to carry wisdom with humility. Gurudev designs these programs to sculpt the complete individual, not just a professional, but a person to purpose. Participants who go through these often experience clarity in career direction, confidence in interviews, and magnetism in teamwork. Kalbhairav's trident or Shakti manifests through these programs as fearlessness, discipline, and surrender, the pillars of sustained success in any field. How can students and professionals create a daily Kalbhairava inspired routine to maximize learning, career clarity, and inner peace? Yes, in the morning, chant the first verse 3 to 9 times while facing east, while sit for 5 minutes in silence before study work. One round of Nadi Shodhan Pranayama plus silent chanting of Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. While midday reset, take a 3 minute digital detox and mentally bow to the lotus feet of knowledge and time. While evening reflection, listen to Bhanumati Narasimhan Jesus' rendition of the Ashtakam or read its meaning. Weekly ritual, fast or observe silence on Ashtami, while dedicate one act of seva as an offering to Kala Bhairava. This not only empowers intellectual and professional development but keeps the heart humble. focused, and fearless. Jay Gurudev, so what is your final message for young learners and working professionals who want both success and inner fulfillment through the spirit of Kala Bhairava? Make your life a combination of head and heart. Let Kala Bhairava walk with you not just as a form to fear but a force to embrace. Gurudev says, when you live with purpose, time supports you, chant, meditate, serve, and watch success come with serenity. Don't merely pursue degrees, pursue depth. Kalabhairava is the silence in your struggle, the clarity in your choices, and the grace in your journey with discipline, devotion, and dharma. Not only in your career, but your very being becomes a blessing to the world. So, how does the invocation of Devarajase Vimana Pavanaga Pankajam inspire one to approach every task, big or small, with dedication and purity? Yes, this beautiful line reminds us that even the highest beings serve the lotus feet of Kala Bhairava, symbolizing humility and surrender for any task. This means approaching the work as an offering, whether it's washing dishes or leading a project. His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji teaches that when we surrender the ego and dedicate our effort to a higher purpose, the quality of work naturally improves. This attitude removes resistance and fatigue by visualizing the task as being done at the lotus feet of the divine. One cultivates purity in intention, turning ordinary effort into sacred action. What lessons from Vyalalaya Sutra Mandira Shekaram Kripakaram can help maintain focus and balance during complex or stressful tasks? Yes, the serpent or the Vyala represents energy and alertness. The moon or the Indu signifies calmness and clarity. This duality teaches us the need of dynamic energy combined with serene focus. For complex tasks, the mind must be like a poisoned serpent and poised serpent, ready to strike yet calm like the moon's reflection on still water. Gurudev advocates for breathing techniques like Sudarshan Kriya and Shakti Kriya that awaken this balance when performing difficult tasks. Controlled breath manages stress hormones and prevents burnout and keeps attention sharp. The compassion aspect of Kripakaram reminds us to treat ourselves with kindness when challenges arise. Oh, how does the praise of Kalabhairava by sages and yogis like Narada, the Yoga Vrinda Vanditam reflect on mastering communication and silent action during task execution? Yes, Narada is the master of communication. Yogis embody silent power. Both are essential to efficient task completion. When managing a team or working solo, clear, respectful communication is necessary, like Narda's music that moves hearts. Simultaneously, deep inner silence enables discernment and precision. Gurudev's teachings encourage cultivating this balance. Speak only what uplifts and keep mental chatter minimal to conserve energy. In practice, this means clear emails, purposeful meetings, and then switching to focused, quiet work. Such dynamic alteration and alternation prevents overwhelm and accelerates completion. What does Digambaram teach us about detachment from the results of our efforts while ensuring high quality execution? Clothed by space means a total freedom from attachment in the modern world. Task completion is often clouded with anxiety about results, success, approval, reward. Kalabhairava teaches that while one should perform with utmost dedication and skill, attachment to outcomes must be relinquished. Gurudev calls this detached involvement. This mindset frees the worker from stress, allowing creativity and efficiency to flow unhindered. The quality of work improves when the mind is free, as it is not trapped in fear or greed. One becomes a pure instrument for excellence. How can chanting or meditating on the first verse of the Kal Bhairava Ashtakam improve skill, efficiency, and resilience when working on complicated or tedious projects? As chanting the verse invokes Kal Bhairav's energy of fierce focus and compassion, the Sanskrit sounds align brain waves, enhancing concentration and reducing mental fatigue. Regular meditation combined with chanting can create a mental environment conducive to flow state where work feels effortless yet productive. Gurudev encourages using mantra or breath based pauses during long tasks to reset and sustain energy. This practice builds resilience, making the worker less prone to frustration or distraction and more able to manage complexity without overwhelm. So, in team settings, how does the symbolism of a Kalabhairava guide leaders and members to complete collective tasks efficiently and harmoniously? Kalabhairav's divine qualities of fearlessness, clarity, compassion are essential in team dynamics. Leaders inspired by Kalabhairava maintain firm decision making without harshness, balancing power with empathy of Kripakaram. Members learn to shed ego like the Digambara aspect. Embracing open communication and support, Gurudev emphasizes that success lies in surrender to the collective goal while contributing one's unique skills. Teams that invoke this spirit foster trust, speed, and quality. Rituals like collective chanting or group meditation before important projects can unify intention and create shared energetic momentum. How can art flowing practices like Sudarshan Kriya or Sahat Samadhi meditation be integrated into daily workflows to enhance task completion and reduce procrastination? Yes, Sudarshan Kriya balances the autonomic nervous system, enhancing alertness and reducing stress when done regularly. It creates a calm but energized mind ready for efficient work. Sahat Samadhi meditation cultivates inner silence, improving focus and reducing mental noise that leads to procrastination. Gurudev advises that starting the workday with these practices, even 15 minutes, can drastically improve efficiency. In meetings or before deadlines, a short breath work or silent mantra chanting refreshes the mind, sharpens his attention, and breaks the cycle of procrastination and fatigue. What role does seva and humility play in performing tasks flawlessly, as inspired by Kal Bhairav's worship by Indra and sages? When even the kings of Deva serves Kal Bhairav's feet, it symbolizes the power of humility in action, approaching any task as seva or selfless service rather than a burden transforms motivation. Gurudev teaches that seva dissolves ego, allowing natural talents to shine unhindered. Humility opens one to learning, adaptation, and creative problem solving, crucial for efficiency and quality. The energy of Kalabhairava helps the worker face challenges fearlessly while engaging compassionate and remaining compassionate and centered. This is the secret behind effortless mastery. How can one practically incorporate the teachings of this verse into any daily task to make work a spiritual practice? Begin with a brief invocation chant or mentally recite the first verse to invoke focus and purity, and set your intention. Offer your task at the lotus feet of Kala Bhairava or your chosen divine aspect and balance energy and calm. Use deep breathing or Nadi Shodhan Pranayama or quick Sudarshan Kriya rounds to prepare and work mindfully, focus completely, communicate clearly, and stay compassionate with self and others and detached from outcome. Trust the process and surrender the results. Conclude with gratitude. Thank the energy that supported your effort. Gurudev teaches that when we align work with this consciousness, we move beyond mere doing to becoming channels of divine efficiency and grace. How does Devaraj say Vimana Pavanang Pankacham guide the seeker toward soul consciousness, the inner Ramayana journey? Yes, this line reminds us that even the gods bow to the pure lotus feet of Kala Bhairava, representing surrender at the altar of time, transcending awareness. Gurudev says, the soul is untouched, pure, and ever blissful, but the mind must bow in humility to discover it in the inner Ramayana. This is akin to Hanumana, the mind in Seva or the breath, bowing at the feet of Rama, the soul, the lotus feet of Kala Bhairava, are symbolic of the still sacred awareness that sits beneath all chaos. Chanting this verse purifies the intellect and redirects it inward toward the Rama Tattva within. What do Vyal Yagya Sutram or Serpent Head and Indu Shekharam or Moon Crested represent in terms of mastering inner energy of Kundalini and mind or Manas on the path to Rama consciousness? The serpent signifies the Kundalini Shakti coiled at the base of the spine. The moon signifies Manas, the emotional mental sheath, while the Kalabhairava wears both harmonized on his being, pointing to the integration of Shakti and Soma. In the inner Ramayana, this is Sita or Shakti rising toward Rama or consciousness through the disciplined, purified path of devotion and tapas. Gurudev guides seekers through Sudarshan Kriya, Shakti Kriya, and Padma Sadhana to awaken the serpent, while Sahat Samadhi meditation and wisdom talks calm the mind. Kala Bhairava shows that only when energy is awakened and mind is cool can the soul be known. How do Narada, the Yogi Vrinda Vanditam, and inner characters like Narada, Lakshmana, and Hanumana reflect aspects of the mind on the journey to Rama consciousness? Yes, Narada symbolizes devotion and insight. He keeps the story moving. Yogis symbolize silence and absorption. Within us, Narada is the intellect that requires and inquires and surrenders. Hanuman is the breath of three-stage pranayama, three-round of Bhastrika and Sudarshan Kriya, strong, loyal, and capable of crossing oceans of illusion, while Lakshmana is resolve of sharp, discipline, and alert. Kalabhairava is saluted by all these inner archetypes because he is the guardian of the gateway to Rama consciousness. Gurudev beautifully says, "You are all the characters in the Ramayana, and your life is the journey of returning to yourself by invoking Kala Bhairava. We create the inner battlefield for righteousness or dharma to win. How can Digambaram or clothed by space help the seeker overcome identification with the body and the ego to awaken soul or Rama consciousness? This is the essence of soul realization. Digambara means beyond name, form, and social identity. Rama consciousness is also Nirguna, beyond attributes. Kalabhairava as Digambara shows the way, be it in the world but not clothed by it. Gurudev teaches that you are not the roles you play, you are the awareness behind them. When one drops ego of Ravana and identification with form of clothes of the mind, only Rama remains. In Vedic rituals like Sannyasa Diksha, Digambara is invoked as a final step, freedom from everything. This is the moksha state. Kalabhairava grants this when invoked with sincerity and silence. How does chanting or meditating on this verse help dissolve the time bound self and access timeless Rama consciousness? Yes, Kalabhairava is a Nashak, the dissolver of compulsive time based identity. When we chant this verse, the mind slows, breath deepens, and attention dissolves from the timeline of worries. In that moment, we enter the timeless. Gurudev explains that Rama is not just a person. Rama is the infinite field of love and presence within you. By meditating on Kala Bhairava, who guards the thresholds of time, we cross over into Rama's kingdom of Ayodhya, the undisturbed state of inner peace. The vibrations of this verse align the body, breath, and mind so that the soul can shine without interference. In the inner Ramayana, what role does Kalabhairava play in helping the seeker defeat Ravana or ego and cross Lanka of illusion and reunion with Sita or the divine Shakti? Yes, Kalabhairava is the inner commander. He slashes through distraction, delusion, and doubt. Ravana in the inner Ramayana is the ten-headed ego, lust, pride, anger, jealousy, etc. Kalabhairav's trident is the sharp awareness that cuts through these. Lanka represents the seductive world of form. Kalabhairava helps Hanuman or Prana cross over. Sita represents the inner Shakti held hostage by the ego's illusions. Only through fearless inner war, guided by Kal Bhairav's energy, does the seeker reclaim this law Shakti and unify with Rama. The self, Gurudev reminds us, the journey back to yourself is the greatest epic you will ever live. So, how do art of living practices and Vedic rituals together guide the seeker from the unconsciousness to Rama consciousness using Kalabhairava as a purifier and a protector? Yes, Sudarshan Kriya purifies the layers of past karma. Sahat Samadhi meditation settles the fluctuations of mind. Seva dissolves self centeredness, while Puja aligns us with cosmic rhythms. These practices soften the seeker so that Kalabhairav's fierce praise can operate Vedic and rituals like Upanayam, Gayatri Japa, Sandhya Vandanam, and Agni Karyam awaken discipline and divine memory. Kalabhairava is invoked at critical stages to remove obstacles. Gurudev teaches that both intensity and devotion are needed to attain Rama consciousness. Kalabhairava provides the intensity, Bhakti brings the sweetness. Together they open the gateway to the soul. What practical daily routines can one follow to invoke Kalbhairav's guidance toward Rama consciousness? Yes, a daily inner Ramayana sadhana can look like early morning Brahma Muhurta. Chant the verse 9 times. Visualize Kala Bhairava at the gate of your inner Ayodhya. Breath practice to Nadi Shodhan Pranayama and Sudarshan Kriya to awaken Hanuman or Prana using three-stage pranayama and 3 rounds of Bhastrika. In meditation, sit silently in Sat Samadhi meditation or Gurudev's guided meditation. Listen for Ram's presence in the stillness. And in Japa, you can chant Om Shri Ramaya Namaha or Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha 108 times. And evening reflection, offer your day's karma to Kala Bhairava and visualize yourself walking with Rama in the inner forest. Can soul consciousness or Rama consciousness be experienced even in a modern life full of responsibilities, noise, and distractions? Absolutely, Gurudev says the soul is not an escape, it's your true base. Rama consciousness is not a luxury, it's a necessity, especially in today's distracted world. When you operate from the soul, actions become effortless, speech becomes compassionate, and decisions become clear. Kal Bhairav's energy helps cut the noise, dissolve self doubt, and bring you to the now. In this now, Rama is present even in a corporate office or traffic jam. You can pause, stand, or breathe and reconnect with that timeless self. The Ramayana within begins to awaken. What is your closing message for someone seeking to awaken Rama consciousness in their mind through the gateway of Kala Bhairava? Let every breath become a bridge, let every task become a temple. Kalabhairava is not to be feared but loved. He is the intensity that clears the path. Rama is already within. Gurudev says, you are not your emotions, your rules, or your thoughts. You are the witness behind it all. This realization is a soul consciousness. The Ramayana is happening inside you. Invoke Kalabhairava as the guardian of your soul's journey. Let his fierce love destroy your inner Lanka. Then you will find Rama. You will remember you are Rama. Thank you, Jai Gurudev.